Hey everyone, I hope you guys are all having a great day or great night. This video is going to summarize some points that we went over during our training session, hopefully give you some more clarity and structure for Vsee teaching, and overall just make you feel more prepared and comfortable for your first class. I'm going to give you some timestamps so you can pick and choose what parts of the video you think would be the most beneficial for you, or you can watch the whole thing, whatever you want. I would just recommend that you watch as much as you need to feel confident and ready for your first class. So I'm going to start out with the Vsee software. The first thing you want to do is add your partner um, and your teacher to your Vsee. So how you're going to do that is click the plus sign, add contact, type in, I did not pay attention in digital learning, so now I suck at typing. Okay. Type in your partner's email or your teacher's email, which I'll give you guys in a second if you don't have that, and send a contact request. The next thing I'm going to go over is chats. Really easy, you just type in your message. You can tell how many times I have redone this video. But those are chats. It's really important that you are communicating with your teacher well because they are like the only source of communication you have between you and your students in Cambodia. If they have any concerns, they'll let you know through chats. If you have any concerns, you can let them know through chats, and that's just how you communicate. I would also recommend maybe just an hour before your first class, you send them a quick message introducing yourself, stuff like that. And after every class, it's always nice to just thank them because they are putting in a lot of work, especially during this pandemic. They have been a great help, and we really, really appreciate them. So yeah, that's basically it for Vsee. I'm not going to go over calls just because it messes with the screen recording and it just does not work out. But what I would suggest is just setting up a time with your partner before your first class, calling them, going through all the features, making sure at least one of yours works when it comes to screen sharing and drawing and whatever. If you want to practice on your own, there's a test call feature to check your internet or to practice the features like a demo. So yeah, I apologize that I can't show you guys right now, but if you have any individual questions, please reach out to me and I can kind of help you. You can send me a picture and what computer you have so I can hopefully lead you in the right direction. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the table. Um, this table is going to give you a lot of important information. So the first thing is your group and your village. Make sure you're looking at the right row, obviously with your name. So this is going to be very important when it comes to your logs. If you look at the Tassel website, spreadsheets are divided by village, and inside each village, they're divided by group. So when you're logging, you want to first find your village spreadsheet, and inside make sure you are logging in the correct group. Your level is not your level of teaching. It's not an indication of how good you are teaching. It's just the level of the students that you're teaching. So level 0 are like the youngest kids, right? I know some of you were kind of confused about that and wanted to know why you were in level 0. So I just wanted to clear up that it's just the grade level of the kids that you're teaching. Your teacher, this is your teacher's name. Names are fun. And then this is your teacher contact with their email, which is what you would add into Vsee when you're adding in contacts. Yeah. Another quick note that I want to add is for Samrang and Samlot, your systems are a little bit different. So if you're teaching Samrang, you alternate between two different groups every other week. So for example, you have 2 classes a week. Your first 2 classes or your first week will be with group 11, and your second week or your second 2 classes or your third and fourth class will be with group 1, and you just keep alternating back and forth, you know? So this may seem a little bit confusing. The most important thing is to just keep track and keep up with your logs. Make sure you are logging in the correct group every time. I would honestly suggest that even though they've told us 11 is first, just send your teacher a quick confirmation message before your class, just making sure that it is group 11. And if you ever forget what group it is, just send them a message and they'll be super nice about it. If you log correctly, everything else will fall in line. So, yeah, we taught Samrang last year. It's kind of cool to teach 2 different classes, and it's really easy to get the hang of it. So, I'm sure you guys will be great. Samlot is a little bit more straightforward. You guys switch by the month. So you will be teaching Group 8 in February, Group 4 in March, and Group 8 in April again. So it should be starting with 8, but like I told Samrang, maybe just send them a quick message before class starts to make sure that it is indeed Group 8. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let me know and I'll be happy to answer them. Next thing is timings. I have not converted everyone's time, but I've given you guys some examples. So basically, it's the day before what it says in the email. So in the email that I sent you guys in the very beginning, it's the table with all of your guys' time slots, and it's also on the presentation if you want. So check that. Whatever it says there, it's basically the 2 days before. So Monday and Wednesday, the day before Monday is Sunday, and the day before Wednesday is Tuesday. So those are your actual days, and your time is 9:45 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. And I'm not going to worry about daylight savings right now because I don't want to confuse you. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but right now it's the same exact time, just instead of a.m., it's p.m. Same thing here. Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday. I hope that made sense. Um, if you guys have any concerns about your time or even a little bit unsure about it, please just reach out to me. I'll be really happy to just convert your time. It's so much better to just ask than to miss your first class. So, yeah, those are the times. Next, I'm going to address some questions that were submitted to the survey. So the first one is, can I use my iPad for Vsee? You definitely can. Just make sure you're practicing, making sure you can use all the features, but whatever is more comfortable for you to use, just use that. Um, if your screen share isn't working, I would just reach out to me individually and send me a picture of kind of what it looks like when you tried to screen share and what computer you have, and I'll try to resolve it for you. But worst case scenario, if we're unable to resolve it, as long as your partner can screen share, it's totally fine because only one person is going to be screen sharing per class anyway. So as long as your partner is able to do that, it should be fine. But feel free to reach out to me. So are the only things that we need to teach on the PowerPoint? Essentially, yes, the PowerPoint is like the skeleton of your class. It's the framework behind everything. Um, it's made in a very simple and clear way so that they can understand it very easily. Feel free to add things, add details, explain things. If you feel like you know something that could help them, tell them. It's not like you have to read off the script, but definitely frame your teaching around the slideshow and its examples and the rules poster. One exception to this are the games. The games are going to be made with examples that you create on your own and kind of following the rules of the games, and you have to kind of do that on your own separate from the PowerPoint. But essentially, yes. Will we be texting teachers 30 minutes before their class time? So, yes, we will. I think we forgot to mention this at the meeting, but we have a sort of accountability system and a reminder system to help you guys and help us. So, in the group chat that we made around 20 to 25 minutes before each one of your classes, we'll send out a message along the lines of, are so and so ready to teach at this time? And if we are addressing you in the message, all you have to do is just like it. You and your partner just make sure you are liking the messages so we know you're ready to teach and so you're reminded that you have to teach. So, yes, we will be doing that. If the Tassel Teachers website is still not working for you, please let me know. If you've let me know in the past, let me know again because if you've let me know in the past, I have sent them an email. But if you still can't access it, I will send them another one. They changed the whole system. Just let me know and I will figure it out. How should we best prepare for our first Vsee class? So I think for this, watching this video helps. All the resources that I mentioned in this video should help. Getting really comfortable with the Vsee software and communicating well with your partner. And I think if you do those four things, you should be really, really prepared for your first class. That's a nice segue into resources. I made this folder that has a couple of resources for you. Um, this is the slideshow we use at the training session. This is the table I just went over. This is the before your first class document, which basically just has a bunch of reminders that I kind of outlined, maybe to just help you out, and some links. So if you want, you can take a look at that. Now, this is the teaching manual. This is probably like the best resource that I could ever recommend to you. Um, Last year when I was first starting Vsee teaching, I came out of the training session and I was so lost. Everything they said just like went in one ear and out the other, and I had no idea what I was doing. Then me and my partner found this teaching manual and it saved our lives. It was like the Enlightenment and the Renaissance all combined in one, new discoveries, and it just has literally everything. It tells you how to start the class, how to end the class, rules. It teaches you about all the different games, like forward 1, 2, 3 and backwards 1, 2, 3, and then multiple choice, exactly how to go through with the games, teaching rules, kind of how to run the class, steps. It gives you examples that you can use for different letters throughout the games. Um, Even if you think you know everything and you're super comfortable with it, still just taking a look at this document, I think, can really help. So yeah, this is probably the best resource I can give you. This is not to say that you shouldn't ask us any questions, but if you're confused on anything, you can probably find it in here. So I definitely recommend just taking a look at it, and I think it can really help you. So yeah, those are some resources. Now moving on to the website. Um, if you go to the website and teaching, things you need to know before your first class. This is a message spreadsheet. Is just like its name, things you need to know for your first class, not misleading at all. And this comes directly from the heads of Tassel, so this is exactly what they want you to know. So this is definitely a very important source to look at, scroll through, make sure you know stuff, make sure you know things like you always log, even if a session is canceled, what letters you're starting on. Some consideration for COVID that they wanted us to go over is that they want less pronunciation and less like talking loudly and screaming just because that spreads germs. And we want to make sure that they're staying safe because if they are not, that means schools will close again, and we really want them to be able to keep their schools open so they can get education. So just keep that in mind and be considerate about that. Um, Again, there's just a lot of information here you can look through. Some of it doesn't apply to you guys, but Samrang Village and Samlot, like I went over, you guys can read that. So yeah, the bulletin board, if there's anything from a natural disaster to a national holiday, it will be here and let you know if you guys do not have class. The training manuals, I went over, the PowerPoints right here, the letter A right here, pretty simple. The rules poster, so you guys should go over that. Um, so yeah, that's basically it. Logs. I want to go over logs for a second. If you are confused about logs at all, just listen to this. What I think you guys should do is to go down to the very end of the Tassel website, and there's a button called Archive. And these aren't like the old Instagram pictures that you take down because they're so embarrassing. This is like the whole record of anything that has ever been posted on this website. So go to 2019-2020, teaching 2019-2020, and logs. And you will notice it has a log for every single village. We taught Samrang if you want to look specifically at our logs, but you can look at any village's log. We were group 1 and group 8A because we switched like Samrang does. You can take a look at our logs, kind of what we wrote. We wrote like a paragraph. This is kind of like what we did in the class, and this is some advice for the next class. Really crazy to think about how much has changed since this date. Lots of twos in this date. Anyway, but this is the exact format of the log. So if you're confused at all, take a look at it and hopefully it'll clear some things up for you. And you'll be really prepared because logs are a huge part and you want to make sure you are doing them right after you finish your class, every single class. They're super, super important. So yeah, okay, I think that's basically all the resources that I was planning to give you. One last thing I want to do is kind of give you guys an outline of how a class normally goes. just to give you some more structure. Now, you definitely don't have to follow this exactly. It's just if you want a little bit more structure, you can keep watching. I've kind of made like a quick little outline right here of what a class looks like. So for your first class, there might not be anything in the logs. You might be the first class to teach, or you might not. But always check your logs before the class to see what advice the previous teacher has given you, even if that previous teacher happens to be you. Um, and kind of what they did in class so you know where to start. Discuss with your partner your plan for the class, kind of what you're going to do, and open up all needed tabs. So for the tabs, you definitely want to have open lessons. Even if you think you might not get to a letter, still have it open just in case so it's really easy and you're not wasting time waiting for things to load, right? You want to have your PowerPoint open. You want to have a blank Google Doc open for your games. I would have the Tassel teacher's website open just in case you need to access anything quickly. If you accidentally X out of your PowerPoint, it happens. If you have the teacher's website open, it's way easier than having to do everything all over again. Next, you're going to call your teacher. I'll just add here approximately like 1 minute before your class time starts. Call them. Introduction and greetings. They'll say something like, hello teacher, how are you today? You say, we are fine, thank you, and you? They say, we are fine, and then you say, please sit down. For your first class, you can say something along the lines of, hi, my name is teacher, your name, your partner introduces themselves, and then you can say, we're from Indiana, and we are so excited to be teaching you guys this year. Next, I like to give a little summary of the class, just a quick one sentence brief like, today we are going to be starting with the letter A, going over the rules poster and playing some games. Or today we are going to be reviewing the letter A and moving on to the letter E and hopefully playing some games as well. So just something like that. Then you are opening the rules poster. In this slideshow, the rules poster is the most important slide and you are going through it. So what this looks like is starting with a short A, maybe saying ant. Can you repeat after me? Ant. Making them repeat things and gauging how they're doing. If they're getting it well, you can move on. If they're struggling, make note of that and make sure to practice the sound more. I like to alternate. Usually we alternate between like you and your partner, so everyone's talking. When you're going through the rules, or just read off the slide, elaborate a little bit, make sure they're repeating, and you really want to be paying attention to what they're getting and what they're not getting. So going through that rules poster, I don't want to like go too in depth because I don't want you treating it like a script. I want you to kind of add your own uniqueness into it, quirks. Anyway, that's the rules poster. Next, going through your examples. So the rest of the slideshow is all examples. Literally every other slide is examples. So when you're doing the rules poster, you're gauging what they need help on and going over all the examples and focusing on what they're struggling with. Keep in consideration COVID and how they want you to be asking them to pronounce less. Still ask them to repeat after you, but maybe try to place more emphasis on you talking and you saying words and them listening than them pronouncing. Just food for thought. After you do examples, you can play a game. So for a game, you want to have a blank Google Doc. I know this isn't exactly blank, but whatever. You can say forwards 1, 2, 3. Obviously, you can look at the teaching manual. I think that's the best resource. But a quick review over this, you just say 1, cake. 2, cack. 3, Kate, right? Make sure your font size is big and everything. And then you can say something along the lines of cake. And then everyone will put up a 1 if they get it right. Or if they get it wrong, they'll put up a 2. And you kind of gauge to see how that works. I'm not going to spend too much time explaining games because I could never explain it as well as the teaching manual explains it. I just know that you guys probably won't understand it if I say it, so just read the teaching manual and hopefully it'll be a little bit clearer. But after you play a game, I like to probably go back through some examples from that letter, and then you can play another game. You can go to the second letter if you have a second letter. In your first class, you should never be going to the second letter. In your second class, you should not be going to the second letter. You should need to be spending at least 3 classes on every letter before you move on. And once you move on, you always want to be reviewing old letters as well. Anyway, I've just kind of placed this here. You can end the class, say something like, okay guys, time is up. It was so awesome teaching you guys. You guys did a great job, and I can't wait to see you next time. And they'll all say bye, you wave, and then you log. Lots of people forget this step, so make sure you don't, because good logs are the best way to make sure the heads of Tassel really, really like you. So make sure you're doing that. Again, you definitely don't have to follow this. It's just if you need a structure, this is a pretty simple structure that hopefully will help you. So yeah, I think that's it. I really, really hope this video helped you get a better feel for what teaching is like and hopefully helps you feel more prepared for the class. Again, I'm so, so excited and you guys will do amazing. Um, you guys will be amazing teachers and it's so, so fun and I can't wait for this to start. But if you have any questions before your first class or even after your first class, please reach out and I hope this helped. So yeah, have a great week and I'm super excited. So yeah, see you guys soon.